Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is Keely, your host. Today is Wealth Wednesday. It is December 23rd. I am so honored and excited to be here with you today. Our quote of the day is, "You cannot push anyone up a ladder unless he be willing to climb a little himself." Andrew Carnegie. Mark your calendar for our national conference. 2021, we are meeting for our annual national conference. This will be 3 days of fantastic training from our national leadership, including our CEO, Bob Snyder. So March 18th through the 20th, those 3 days you want to make sure to have cleared out on your calendar so that you can be fully present for that day of training or those days of training. And then we have our leaders retreat dates. We're going to be going to Mexico. Very excited to see you all there. It's going to be a crazy hug fest. I know that. And it's going to be August 13th through the 17th. Make sure you've got your calendars marked and do whatever you need to do to make sure that you can be there. Also, every Monday, we've got our Founders Live. That is Mondays at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Very important webinar to be in. It's with our CEO, Bob Snyder. We get to do some training. We've got a shared story of the week, as well as some great recognition to see who's out there killing it in the business. So tune in every Monday for the Founders Live. Every week, we've got our weekly private capital masterclass. Now that is going to be happening tonight. So normally it's every week, every Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. But of course, due to Christmas Eve and Christmas, we've moved our events around a little bit this week. So we will be meeting tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong, Daine. We will be meeting tonight on Wednesday for our private capital masterclass. That's at 6 p.m. And then also every day we've got our daily real estate action mastermind. That's our dream call. And that starts at 9 a.m. goes until about 9:45 Monday through Friday. And we talk all kinds of real estate talk. And then we've got our fabulous Friday morning with Lily. Friday is Christmas. We will not be meeting on Friday this week. So just take note of that. And then I do need to double check with Wanda. I don't believe we'll be meeting tomorrow for Christmas Eve either. Oh.
I don't know. I'm here.
Wanda, do you want to train tomorrow morning?
I was planning on it.
Okay, so. Perfect. Thanks for coming out and letting me know. So That being said, we will be training tomorrow morning, and then we'll just take Friday off this week. So we'll be meeting tomorrow morning, and we're excited to be training with Wanda, excuse me. Okay, and then we also have our Zoom up call. So every day, Monday through Friday at noon, we're doing a 15 to 20 minute Zoom up call where Michael Huggins and Scott Rowe will introduce a student in the Renatus system who is absolutely killing it. And they talk about their story. This is a great exposure for your guests to see what people are up to with our Renatus program. OES.com is a helpful site that was put together by Michael Huggins. He has a little short video on the website that talks all about what the OES is, the optional event subscription, what comes with it, and why you want to be a part of that. Yesterday, we had a really, really cool house tour. This is Earl Coe's property in Colorado, and this is a very creative deal that he's working on. So he picked it up for $628,000 using none of his own money, using private and hard money for the purchase. And this is going to be a short-term rental. So very, very cool property tour that we saw yesterday. I know that the recording is going to be available soon if you weren't able to catch it and you do still want to watch it, or send it out to your guests. The recording will be available. Just contact Skylar Jess for that. And congratulations, Earl. What a really cool deal. Happy holidays, everyone. As I mentioned, we've got a little bit of a different schedule this week. So yesterday we had our house tour and our AIT bonus track study group in Spanish. And that means today, Wednesday, we've got what we normally would be doing on Thursdays. So tonight we have our Spanish house tour, and then we've got our Pillars of Wealth intro presentation, our follow-up and funding webinar, our onboarding session, Essentials Mastermind, as well as our multifamily wholesaling and short-term rental. Lots going on Wednesday night tonight. And then this is also going to carry on over to next week as well with the same Tuesday, Wednesday instead of Wednesday, Thursday because of New Year's. We do record these morning calls. You can find them on our YouTube channel as well as on Facebook Live. Our Facebook page is Renatus Team Elevate, and then our YouTube channel is Elevate Renatus. So subscribe to that, get added to the Facebook page, and take advantage of those resources. Our YouTube channel also has all of those Zoom up calls that I mentioned a moment ago, those 15-minute stories. So take advantage. Today is Wealth Wednesday. We get to learn from Daine Clark. Always so excited to hear what Daine has to share with us. He is very, very, very successful with Renatus and is very good at giving back. And I just love that about Daine. He's here to help us out and to move us along with our businesses. Before Renatus, Daine was working 2 jobs. He was working at Apple in the back, kind of shy, not really talking to customers much. And he was also a roofer for a while there. That's what his dad did. So that's what Daine fell into as well, just on the weekends. And at the time, he was barely making ends meet. He knew he needed to make a change. And he had heard about real estate investing. And so looked at some income opportunities, found Renatus, plugged into the system, started to apply what he was learning, listened to his mentors, and he applied the velocity banking to his first deal, which was a duplex where he lived in one side and rented out the other side. We fast forward to today. Daine just completed his 100th deal. He's completed over 100 deals now. He's also raised over $20 million for various transactions from different investors. And the secret to that is consistency and frequency. He's also grown his team. He is on the PIT team, meaning he's in training to be on the PAC, the President's Advisory Council. So we are learning from a key leader this morning. Make sure to take notes. I'm very excited for what Daine's got to share with us today. Good morning, Daine. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. Let me turn this light on so you can see my face a little better. Happy Wealth Wednesday, almost Christmas. Super excited. Hope y'all are having a wonderful time and got some good plans. And as always, got some stuff for you guys today about the Christmas, the whole Christmas spirit. But let's go ahead and kick it off. You guys know what to do. I want to know from everybody, if I can, how many people did you talk to in the last 7 days? So let me know, Esther and Jenna and all those phone numbers. You can just hit *6 and shout it out if you want to. Let me know, Ada, Alvin, Ann, Arif, Bobby, Celeste, Bruce, Brian, David, Diana, Doug, Eric, Farhad, Galaxy J7. Let's Grace, Jason, Jeffrey, Kim, Key, Leslie, Lester, Lita, Sean, Wanda, Scarlett, Sandra, Rick, Paul, Pamela Norris. Let's hear from everybody. And thank you for those that are chiming in. Even if you had a goose egg in the last 7 days, that's still okay. Still let the world know, let yourself know, say it. And it's crazy because you'll put positive vibes coming your way if you are honest with yourself. So let me know, Laura, Lita, and I think I went down through everybody, I believe. If I missed you, you know who you are. I do that to my kids sometimes. I have to tell my kids, it's crazy. I've only got 3 of them, and the oldest is only 4 years old, and I got to be like, you know who you are, you know. It's so much fun. But yeah, let me know. And here, let's give some love to. Let's see, where's the chat box? There it is. Exciting times. Anne had 1, Bruce had a goose egg, Ada, 65 plus convos, property tour and prospecting. Congratulations. I got your autocorrect there. She didn't pick up 65 condos. That's gonna be next year, 65 condos. Laura had 2, Dan, Lorene, Scarlett, Brian had goose eggs, as well as Eric. Diana Torres had 2. Renata's Team Elevate had 2 one-on-ones, about 10 conversations, 5 guests. Excuse me. Great job. Alvin had 5. Gilda had 3. Wanda had 3. Grace had 2. Melissa had 1. Jeffrey Wilson had 5 dials, a conversation and a follow-up. And 1 follow-up, 1-to-1. Farhad spoke to 4 of 50 new leads. Got to catch up. Great job, brother. Bobby had 4, 1 intro tonight. Sandra had a goose egg. Serenata. Let's see, David 1, but it was a text message. That's all right. That still stems the conversation. One thing I would recommend, if I may, is that if people can hear your excitement, like you got to get excited first, right? The number one person that you will sell on getting involved in achieving their dreams is going to be you, right? Or you, point at you. Because once you've sold yourself, other people see it. It is weird, right? Can you guys tell right now that I have sold myself? You can feel it in the voice, in the tone, from the heart, that I have sold myself, that I will chase success harder than success is hard to chase. And when people see that in you, it becomes easier for them to be like, I'm gonna follow Anne and Chi and Jenna and Keely and Dan and right, all of us, when they see that in you, because you sold yourself, right, in here, they'll see it. They'll see it. So anyway, David, sorry to go off on you, but that was for everybody. Kim had 5. Doug had a goose egg. Jenna Menchengo had 3 follow-ups. 10 guests and events, 1 essentials order, 2 more essentials orders being entered later this week. Ooh, later this week. That means she is working. Awesome. Serving people, giving them the Christmas, what should we call that? Giving them the Christmas gift that keeps on giving. Oh yeah. It's funny, usually around this time of year, I think about the person who brought me into Renatus, and I'm just like, man, I am so grateful that person had the guts to reach out to me and say, dude, do you want to get into real estate? Even though, I think I told this story a couple of weeks ago, even though I said, no, not my thing. Thank you though, but whatever. And then a year later, that just started working on me. And a year later, I call him back. I was like, hey, you still doing that real estate thing? I think I'm ready. Let's see, 1 roll-up X combo in the process. Awesome, helping the team. Great job. Pamela has several new leads. Charles has 1. Eric, I take that back. I had 1 conversation. Congrats, brother. Sandra, yep. And Renata's team Elevate, great work. Awesome. Cool. So let's do this. I might switch it up a little bit. I've been doing this if you've been in a part of any of the masterminds that I run during the week. I love hearing the story, whether it was like a good story or I don't want to call it a bad story. I mean, you guys know me, but if it was your least favorite story or your most favorite story, I want to hear it. So some of you who let me know that you guys had some stuff going on. Diana would love to hear of a story. Alvin, if this is the Alvin I'm thinking about, this is the Alvin that's in the top 5. Gilda had 3. Wanda, Grace. Somebody come off mute. Tell us a story of your most exciting conversation in the last 7 days, or your least favorite. Both are good. Right. In fact, one time, I should probably do this again, but a few months ago, I actually took up the whole hour and just told everybody of all the rejection that I had faced in the last couple of weeks. And that was one of the times that I had the most people text me afterwards and say, thank you for that. Right. So those are good to hear, right? Least favorite story, most favorite story. Somebody come off of mute and tell us that this could be Grace, Melissa. Who do we have? Alvin, what's up, brother?
Hey, Daine, how you doing today?
Doing great, man. Is this the Alvin that is in the top 5?
No, this is not the Alvin that's in the top 5 yet.
Okay, but coming up. So Alvin that is almost in the top 5.
Yes.
Tell us the story, brother.
Well, I had a gentleman that I had been communicating with over 3 or 4 months. So this was kind of the least favorite story. Then it was
Okay.
a couple of months
No
ago
worries.
where I had him on a REI. I think it was the one with Tony Scotti. And then I got a notification from Sandy saying, what email address you're using for this person, because they had been registered by someone else as well. So
Ah,
I ended up getting that straightened out. I ended up talking to, communicating with Matt Snyder, and we got that all cleared up. So they are protected by me. But the guy is an awesome guy. When he talks and he thanks me, it's actually inspires me. It's like, wow, I didn't know I was that incredible. You know what I mean? He thanks me for all these, 8 or 9 or, different exposures that he's seen every time. And I think he went through some hard times recently. So last week, I just keep, I lose track of him. Sometimes he goes crickets on me. But then last week I called him and he said, okay, Alvin, I'm ready. I'm going to the bank right now. That was like last Monday. He said, I'm going to get my essentials. As soon as I go to the bank, I'm on my way there. Now, I haven't heard from him since.
oh, dang it.
So I still
You've been calling him though, right?
Yeah, I've called him. Sometimes his phone doesn't work, like his phone is out of service or whatever. But all I do now is I just keep inviting him to different things. So since last Monday, I've invited him to 3 or 4 other things. He just hasn't responded. So, but I'm just gonna keep inviting him.
Yeah. Dude, I'd text him and be like, hey man, you dead? I'm concerned about you. Right? You haven't responded. So either I need to be concerned about you, or I need to apologize. Right? Maybe try this one next time you text him today. Either, hey man, I'm concerned about you, or I need to apologize for something because I haven't heard from you for a little while now. And I want to make sure that I'm providing the best service I possibly can for my friends. And so which is it? Do I need to apologize, or is it time for you to take your goals and your vision seriously, and let's get you going, brother? Now, obviously don't say that on the whole thing, but yeah. Hey, I'm concerned about you, or do I need to apologize for something? Because I haven't heard from you in a while, right? So one of those 2 things. Okay. I'd try that today, and you might actually get him to respond. So let me know that. Let me know if that works.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Cool. We got time.
Daine,
We got time for one more. Somebody else. Go ahead, Wanda.
Daine, also, I think we can do like a release statement. Say, hey, if this is not for you, it's okay with me. And then let it go. And then sometimes they rethink what they're doing.
Sure. And that's usually why I put in the, like, hey, do I need to apologize? Because that's going to let them, that's going to make them feel, I'm just going to do a couple things. It's going to make them feel like I care about them, or that Alvin cares about him. But also it's going to cause him to say whether he's like, oh, no need to apologize. I just don't. And then they'll usually tell you. But yeah, you could add in like, hey, no worries if there's something that I need to apologize for. And when you make it personal like that, they actually like open up. It's really interesting when you say like, hey, do I need to personally apologize to you because you haven't responded, right?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they all work. They all work. Right. That's the coolest thing about this is everything you try works as long as you do it enough, and then you just get better and better and better at reading people, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, thank you, Wanda. Thank you,
Wanda.
Cool. Anybody else have a story for favorite or for least favorite? Totally fine. Or if you just have a question, right? Let's see if we can help somebody.
I have a brief story.
Go ahead.
Cool.
Who is this? Is it Sandra? Oh, Jenna.
I had a conversation yesterday. Actually came from somebody that I helped with their birthing process. I wasn't there for the labor, but I helped with some postpartum care because that's one of my passion works that I do outside of Renatus. So he is really excited, and I'm really excited for him because it was like the second conversation I've had recently where somebody was so on board already that they pretty much did the follow-up for themselves and was just like, okay, I got to move a couple things around and then I'll be able to get started. I'll call you by the end of the week. And the reason why I'm so excited about this person is because he has such a shared vision as I do, as far as doing like permaculture and natural building, a lot similar to like what Michael's doing out in Tennessee. And so when I get someone on my team that actually has a shared vision beyond just investing and beyond financial freedom, it gets me really jazzed up. So there isn't much detail to that besides the fact that like he sold himself and he's been plugging into all the events that he can and is really excited. So I know, and I'm realizing that the more I'm in tune with my energy and the more that I'm living in my truth and just working on myself, the people that I'm attracting to me and the leads I'm attracting are reflecting that. So, you know, there's been a lot of obviously ups and downs and challenges over the last couple of years of just getting my mindset in the right place. And now I'm really starting to see more consistency in my leads and my prospecting match that energy. And
that's so cool.
The other thing was I did my first 6 foot rule in a while because I haven't been like out in public places a lot. And I was at an eye doctor appointment and this woman walked in and we just like struck up a conversation right away. And it turns out that she's a CPA and makes a lot of money doing it. And but is still working on like her credit and wants to invest. So, you know, I was like, have you ever considered investing in real estate? And then she got on the call that night, like 2 hours later. So that felt really good.
Gosh.
I really miss doing in-person networking. So
I
it
know.
makes me happy to like actually talk to somebody in person and get them excited and on board for an event right away. So yeah, keep going, people. It gets it doesn't get, it's easier, it gets more simple, and I'm getting better at being concise when I'm explaining things to folks. So yeah.
Cool. Oh, it's so exciting. I've been, how long you been with Renatus now? Has it been a year?
It's a little bit more than, it's almost 2 years now. It's been 2 years since I got my education. I'd say a year that I've been like super committed and showing up to as many events. Yeah.
Cool. I was gonna say, I feel like it's been about a year that I remember hearing your name for the first time, and I've been watching you this last year. And all those who don't know who Jenna is, she's killing it now. Like watching her grow from where she was just getting started, and you know, forgive me if this I don't want to say this, you know, I don't want to say I'm going to offend you here, but when she was asking some of those early on questions that some people would be like, come on, Jana, like you asking that? Everybody goes through it, and look at her now. Like she's saying, I'm feeling confident in my conversations now. She's closing business. I mean, it is so cool to watch people's development, right? This is actually one of the reasons why I love doing this, because it reminds me of my own journey, you know, going from where I was to where I am today. I mean, a lot of people, when they meet me, they're like, Daine? That's not the Daine I knew 5 years ago, or back in high school, or back in college, or whatever, right? And I've seen that in Jenna, where she's just like, you know what? I care about success more than success is hard to get. And she's going after it, taking the steps, she's developing, she's having those conversations and getting good at it. Awesome. This is how it's done, right? Right before your eyes. This is how it is done. So congratulations, Jenna. It's been cool to watch this.
I appreciate that. And just so you know, it's pretty impossible to offend me. You'd have to cross some pretty strong lines to offend me. So feel free to say whatever. But yeah, I've definitely felt that. And a lot of that was from doing EMT. So for those of you who are thinking about doing the ATM, the training that Richard Stock and Team Elevate's doing, I highly recommend it. I put myself through the fire twice going through that. And that's really what helped, was like doing Toastmasters, getting in front of the room, being uncomfortable with 50 people staring at me at the same time. So yeah, it works. Thank you. Thank you, Daine, for your consistency, and Keely and everyone else that shows up week by week.
To the top. I love it. Cool. Anybody else before I share my challenge, my Christmas challenge with everybody? Anybody have one last question, concern, story, any way I can help you guys? Comment, anything. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let me share my screen. I got something good for you guys. So one thing that I love to arm myself with right before I go into the holiday season is typically a story, right? And because the cool thing here's, oh man, I love stories, and I tell them all the time. In fact, one of the things I decided one day when I learned, I mean, if any of you have ever been inspired by a story versus like just a presentation, typically, and at least in my experience, when somebody tells me a story, like I almost like see myself in the story where I'm like, cool, I'm going to be that gal, or I'm going to be that guy when they're telling the story. And so I feel like some of the most transformational moments in my life have been from somebody telling some kind of a story. And where I, after the story, I was like, I want to do that. Right? Sign me up for that, please. Give me maybe 2 of those. And so I heard a story recently that it actually, like when I first heard it, it didn't have that effect on me. But as I've been thinking about this over the last probably 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks since I heard this story, I was just like, oh my gosh, like that is exactly what I want and exactly what I've been striving for. So anyway, many of you guys know who Tony Scotti is, right? This is who this story comes from, Mr. Tony Scotti himself. And so I was listening to Tony Scotti, and this was I'm not sure if he shared this. Let's see, did he share? I forget where he shared this. So if some of you may have heard this, then great reminder, but check out my perspective on this. So Tony told me that he has been doing this contract for deed for 4 or 5 years now. He now has 90 properties that are cash flowing that he doesn't own. He's just, basically the contract for deed bank, if you will. And I think the number he shared was like 60 grand a month in net profit coming in. I mean, super, super cool. So anyway, 90 properties, all this cash flow coming in, right? No, that wasn't the story that inspired me. That probably would inspire a lot of people, but here was the thing that I was just like, oh my gosh, I want that. Okay, so anyway, parts of the story. One is he's been doing contract for deed, or for lack of a better term, cash flow real estate. Because when you say contract for deed, some people were like, huh? Right? That can be a good thing though. But cash flow real estate investing, and he's generated enough dollars per month that he can live, right? Now, this is what he told me. And it was funny because I'm listening to Tony Scotti, and he's actually kind of complaining in this story, right? Second part of the story is like, oh yeah, I have been doing some big development deals, big development deals. And sorry if you can't read that, but big development deals. And I want to say it was something about like a gym or something like that, like some big thing that COVID would basically demolish. And that's exactly what happened, right? And so as Tony is sitting here telling this story, and of course, every time I listen to them, I assume that they're talking directly to me, right? And so as Tony is talking to me, and he's telling me this story, oh, did all these contract for deeds, got all this stuff, and then I'm going after some big deals, some huge money makers. And then COVID. But then to hear him say, oh my gosh, like I'm so grateful that I have been doing all of this cash flow real estate, because even though this has basically gone kaput, and he's like, I mean, we might be losing money on this big deal unless things turn around here pretty soon. So even though this deal has gone kaput and I'm like bleeding money out because of this deal, it's okay, because any money that I'm losing here, I'm making 4 times over here, right? You guys picking up what I'm putting down here? So here I'm listening to listening to Tony, that he has confidence to win big and go after some of these big development deals, right? Which, like, if you look at me right now, like I look at the big development stuff and I'm just like, nope, too risky. Yeah, sure, make people make a lot more money. But to me, I'm like, no, like I want this, right? And this just like solidified my my mindset that exactly what I want right now is to be creating that cushion, that cash flow real estate, right? And some of you that have been following me know that after I saw Tony Scotty's class, I was just like, yep, I want that. Give me 100 of those, please. Okay. And so hearing this story of, hey, he just went out and he got a base in real estate. You know, you don't have to tell him how much. Some people might say 90 deals, $60,000 a month is a little bit too much of a base, right? Have most PhD yearly salaries because has become his monthly, whatever. Yeah, we don't have to share that part of the story because everybody's base is different. But that's the key. Is he went out and he got his base in this cash flow real estate, and then he's doing whatever he wants. And it doesn't matter if that whatever he wants wins big or loses a little bit and he has to unload it, whatever. Because that base gives him the confidence to go and do whatever. And when you listen to Tony, it's so funny. Because he's like, yeah, I don't really want any more cash flow deals. He's like, I'm good. I work like once a week. Maybe twice a week, you know, because he's got that base. And so for me, like this Christmas season, as we go through, whether we start talking about Zoom, you know, talking on Zoom with family, or we go to holiday parties with family, whatever, we're going to one tomorrow night. And I want to tell this story to those that I'm chatting with. When, you know, I was like, hey, what's going on? You know, I haven't seen you. You know, these days, months. You know, what's new? I want to be like, dude, I met this dude that told me his real estate investing story, and I set some new goals. And he was telling me how he set this base of cash flow real estate that's bringing money in every single month. And then he started going after things that fulfill him and he gets excited about. You know, he's building this gym, but COVID paused the gym hard pause. I think this big development is out in Hawaii, if I remember right. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter that these big things didn't go well because he had the base. And so I've actually set my new goal that I'm going to drive as hard as I can to buy enough cash flow real estate that gives me the confidence in whatever else I'm doing. It could be job, could be, you know, big development, you know, whatever. In fact, Jenna, this not quite permaculture, but one of the big things that I told my wife that I will not do is build her dream house. She's been bugging me forever. I mean, especially as we've been making more and more money, she's been bugging me. In fact, just this last year, she was looking at all these really nice homes, and I'm just like, no, not doing that yet. But I told her, as soon as we hit this dollar amount in monthly income, I'll build you your dream house. And one of the things that I said, if we're doing dream houses, this is one thing I have to have, right? Because I'm in Utah. And so there's snow outside. The place that she wants to build this dream house, there's probably 2 feet of snow outside right now. And so my vision for dream house is I want to be able to walk from my house into a big heated glass building and pick a banana off the tree while there's 2 feet of snow outside and eat it while I look at the snow covered mountains right? I want a year-round greenhouse that we can even put tropical stuff in. That's my vision. I love that idea to build something like that. And so we've already been putting in the plans and whatever, right? We're dreaming. But again, I will not pull the trigger on that until we hit our threshold. And just in case anybody cares to know, with whatever expense I want. So let's say dream house costs this much. I want this much in cash flow, right? 2 to 1. My liabilities are covered 2 to 1 by the monthly cash flow. Because I want, to me, it's also important to take that other cash and put that into some kind of a long-term savings, reserves, whatever you want to call that. Like, you could call that life insurance, a savings account, doesn't matter. Right? To me, it's important to have big reserves when you're getting the dreams, right? So anyway, you can borrow my story if you want, that again is telling somebody else's story, but here's what they did and here's my new goal type of story. If you guys are picking up what I'm putting down here, for this Christmas season, arm yourself with a few stories of people that inspire you, right? And make it personal. People love personal. Say Tony's name. I mean, they don't know who Tony Scotti is. Say Tony Scotti's name, or whoever story you tell. But then make sure that it is all, your story has always a they say or they say or they did, and then an I say or I am doing. Right? Make sure that your story has those two things. Right? Either they say or they did. And because of that, I say this, or I'm going to do this. Much more inspiring, right? Much, much more inspiring. Okay, whatever story you pick, pick this story, pick your own, doesn't matter to me, right? But for this Christmas season, make sure that you've got either one or two or a few stories that you're armed with, that when it comes up, because it's crazy. Like if you anticipate that somebody in your life, right? Like Jenna mentioned that story about this lady at the eye store, at the eye place. She probably walked in armed like, hey, I'm going to be looking for the opportunity for somebody to allow me to bring up my stories, my real estate investing passion, you name it. When you approach life this way, it's crazy. People present opportunities for you to pipe up, to chime in, to tell the story, to talk about your goal, that they say, I say, with your story. Right? If you're looking for it, just like I say every week, if you are a detective and looking for the opportunity, it will present itself almost every single time that you try to put yourself in that position, right? It's super cool. Okay, so arm yourself. Now we got a few more minutes, and we can either open this up to more. We can open this up to more questions, Q&A. People can tell stories. People can ask for help developing their stories, or I can even tell you one of the recent things that just happened to myself that I'm super excited about. So anybody come off of mute, ask a question, ask for help with your story, tell us a story that we can use, whatever you'd like. Or I'll tell you guys one of the stories that just happened to me.
Hey, what's up, Daine?
Come off of mute.
How's it going, bro?
Who do I have?
This is Kai.
Go ahead.
Hey,
Kai, what's up, brother?
Nah, not much. So, yeah, I actually, I think my story. Well, actually, I know my story is very powerful. I just want to tell it in a way to where people are just like, wow. So, if this gentleman came from this and he dealt with all these obstacles in life, that lets me know that I haven't been through that, and this lets me know that I have a chance at doing certain things, right? So, I mean, I would love your help in helping me build this story, because when I do it, I try to tell like a 30-second version of it, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you should.
I would love that.
Cool. So let's have you go ahead and practice. Are you going to borrow this story that I just shared, or do you have your own?
More of my working on my own. I mean, I know I want to, put other people out there as well, but I just want to also show people,
Okay.
share my story as well. So I'm showing that I'm transparent.
Cool. So 30 seconds or less.
Okay.
We're sitting around the dining room table, I don't know, and people say, hey, like let's do a fun thing and let's go around the room and everybody talk about what they're doing this year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's your opportunity, right? So you're like, ooh,
Okay.
opportunity, bam. Okay. so let's pretend that it comes to you. What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna say, all right. So I'll be like, yeah. So what I plan on doing this year coming up, let's see. I want to go ahead and start investing. Well, I want to go ahead and start making more of a cash flow because just coming from where I've come from, I'm truly starting from the bottom. And that right there, people get curious and they'll ask like, well, tell us more. I'm like, well, I got in trouble when I was younger. Yeah, I've went to prison with federal and state. Then I got out and I became a college graduate 4 times, and well, 3 times, sorry. And then after that, I seen that college wasn't really resulting me the results that I needed. So yeah, I just got into real estate, and that's where I plan on, having things come into play. So to where I want to have that's gonna be my plan is to go ahead and get that going. So I guess yeah, it's kind of choppy. So yeah, just would like
Cool.
to
Love
get
it.
your help.
Okay. So here's what I heard, and everybody else chime in. If you got something to say, if something came up into your mind, it happened on purpose, right? So if you got something to say, come off of mute. But Kai, here's what I heard. Okay. So in your before story, you're talking about the before, the stuff that people are, man, that sounds like, and you were very specific. Okay, and this is what I heard you say, got jailed, you came out, decided to go to college, and I don't know. And then in your after, it was very, what I heard, it was very general. I want to get into real estate, stuff like that. So instead of that, do something specific. And so in this specific, I might try something like, you tell your before, and then you're ready to move into the inspiring part and be like, I met a guy. I mean, every single instructor in Renatus, you can say, I met that person. I met this gal. I met this guy, right? I met this person that did this. And I've actually been studying everything I can about what that person did, how they did it, right? Again, specific. And I've decided I am going to do that exact thing that they did, right? And it's cool because inside of your story, you're actually, it's crazy. Humans are, I want to say they're kind of like sheep, where as soon as somebody proves something is possible, then everybody else is like, oh, cool, right? Like perfect example. I think it was the 4-minute mile. The 4-minute mile for somebody to run a mile in 4 minutes, to me, it could never be possible. But the 4-minute mile was never even like thought of, right? Nobody thought it was possible until one person did it. And as soon as one person did it, people in high school started running it was crazy. Like people started popping up all over the place that people were running 4-minute miles, but like months prior didn't even exist, right? So in your story, if you can create that, hey, somebody already did this, even if you haven't yet, somebody already did this. And so I am studying everything I can. Let's say you're going to use this story about Tony Scotti. I'm going to do everything I can and study everything I can about what that person did, how they did it, and even their progress, how they did their first one, their second one, and their 100th one. And I'm going to do that, right? So in that, I would get specific. Just like you were specific in the before, get specific in the after. Okay, so my next question to you, Kai, is do you already know the specific of what you really want to do? Which instructor has inspired you the most for saying, hey, that's what I want to do at the end of the day?
Yeah, as far as yes, I do know the specifics. Sorry.
Okay.
It comes from a lot of people, and one thing about Michael, I'm gonna comment on him, is being able to stay at home with his wife and his child. And then Alex, he's able to, he's building this up, so he's setting this foundation as well. So those are the things that I want to achieve. And then when you were saying that you want a 2-to-1, that's something I never ever thought about. A 2-to-1,
Mm-hmm.
like I never thought about that. And I was like, man, that's pretty dope. Now I want that, to be honest. So it's
Cool.
not
You're
just
picking up what I'm putting down.
yeah, I'm picking it up.
Okay.
So it's not just
So
being at home with the family and actually preparing and setting a foundation. It's making sure that everything is solidified and everything is good to go, and there's no reason to have to look back and stress about anything.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So what I would do is I would pick one, because like you said, you want this to be like 30 seconds or less, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 30 to 60 seconds. Okay. So pick one person so that you can get specifics and you tell that, like, hey, this person did this. And this is what I've been studying, right? I would borderline say I've been obsessed about this. This, like, the moment I heard that person did this specific thing, I've been obsessed about that, and I am going to figure out how they did that, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay. And so with the who, make it specific. Whether it's one of these people, figure out what those people did, or even pick an instructor.
Okay.
Pick one of the instructors and be like, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, and I think just listening to you, something is just registering me. This is why I want to have a lot of stories under my belt, is because not everybody is looking for the same thing,
Exactly.
And to be able to relate certain things to certain people, is going to be also powerful. It doesn't have to be about me, but
Exactly.
if I'm talking, so yeah.
Yep. You're just going to do the they did, I'm going to do effect, whatever you want to call that. We should make that a thing. Okay. They say, I say. Okay. They said this. This is what I say about that. Okay. So in that, make sure it's specific. This person bought 5 homes and sold them the very next day. Right? If I use my, actually now it's 7. No. We're closing 1 this week. So person bought 6 homes and sold them the very next day with tens of thousands of dollars in down payment. And I've been studying every single move that person made that I can get my hands on, because I want to do the same thing, right? That is going to get people to move and be like, wait, what? Tell me more about that, because I think I need that too, okay? And you'll get, oh man, this is crazy. You'll get people, in fact, we got 4 minutes, so I want to share a little story with you guys. Okay, let me go down to Austin Thompson. Okay, so this was just Sunday this week, and I posted on social media, a little story, whatever. I never post call to actions on social media, but I posted a little story, and again, it was specific, inspiring, I had never done this before, but I really I wanted to accomplish this and I did. Right. So told that little story on Facebook. And then I get this message. Because again, when you get those specifics, people, I mean, they can't argue. No one can argue with a story. It's awesome. Remember that. No one can argue with the story. And here I have Austin Thompson. Hey man, hope your family's doing well. I saw that you've been flipping houses for a while, consulting with others as they did it too. I've saved a good lump sum of money and I've been interested in doing something like that for some time. Was wondering what the process was. I'm just like, and you can see I didn't text him back and say, oh, let me show you, do this and do that. No. I want to talk to you, Austin. When can you chat? Because I want him to hear it from in here. Because again, I have sold this person first. And I want him to feel that I have sold myself on achieving my dreams. I want him to feel it, right? And it's cool because I didn't start that way. I had to start by stumbling and stuttering as I talk to people and have these conversations. But that's exactly how you grow. Right? Don't feel like you have to become all great and fancy before you have conversations with people. Just go have conversations with people, and as you know this principle that you have to sell yourself, it'll gradually become deeper and deeper rooted within inside you. Okay, so go have those conversations and let people see that you have sold yourself, because your energy. I mean, no one will be able to argue with your energy or your stories. And you will become a force to be reckoned with for everybody around you. And it will be awesome when that begins to happen for you, okay? All right, Jenna can say the same thing. Just from what I've been able to watch her do. I've heard Keely do stuff like this. Okay, just going down to see the people I see their cameras on that I've seen you guys, right? And Chi, no one can argue with your stories, even if you haven't done anything yet. I shouldn't say anything yet. Even if you don't feel like your story is worth sharing yet, share the story like this. Because again, no one can argue. They did this, I'm going to copy it. Cool? Sure. I hope that helped. And everybody give Kai a fist bump for being vulnerable like that, letting me pick on him. Letting me poke holes in his story. I know he's grateful, but so is everybody else. Because just like we went through your story, other people, I guarantee it, right? By show of hands, I guarantee people were like, I'm Kai in this story. I need to do that. Okay.
Hey, Daine.
Yes.
Yeah, just quick question. I love your dream home, but I already have the bananas and I have the beach, but I love the snow. So I think now it just got me thinking I should build a snow globe, there. So just wanted, yeah.
Yeah, you could build a giant freezer.
Yeah.
Fill it with 2 feet of snow and put an igloo in it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, hey, that's a great idea. But I already have the bananas, the beach. It's right on the beach. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
Bring that to my house.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure, guys. It's 9 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and call it a Wealth Wednesday. Go have your conversations. Arm yourself with your stories before specifics, after specifics. They say, I say, they did, I'm going to do. I'm going to copy. And I want to hear your guys' conversations next week, right? Love you all. Happy Merry Christmas to you all. Make sure you celebrate Jesus' birthday appropriately and have lots of fun. Love you all. I'll see you guys in a week. All right.